Today's episode is brought to you by Musical Theatre Radio's merch store. Looking for that perfect gift for someone or just want to treat yourself to some great musical theater themed merch? Head to musicaltheaterradio.com and click on the All Things Theater button on the homepage and check out all the different designs available. And now, today's interview. Welcome back to another episode of Be Our Guest here on Musical Theater Radio. I am your host, as always, Jean-Paul Jovanoff. Today is another Discover a New Musical edition where you, the listener, and me, the host, get to learn about a new show together. Jilted is all about an American in Ireland who rebuilds her life after being left at the altar, uncovering deep secrets along the way. A story of friendship, self-acceptance, and love. Today, to tell us a little bit about the show and the upcoming concert on April 22nd, 2025 at 54 Below in New York City is the show's creator, Lauryn Gaffney. Lauryn, hello and welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. So before we get into talking about, the show itself and the concert, we got to get to know you a little bit better. Now, that being said, I've known about you since 2020 because I've been playing another one of your shows, but I don't know you. So I'm going to get a 30-second bio. Who's Lauryn in 30 seconds?
Lauren in 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. I'm a female Irish composer, lyricist, who recently has become vegan. I'm engaged to a lovely Irish man who also arranges my musicals for me that I'm really lucky with. And I love musical theater. I love writing songs. I write a lot of pop as well as musical theater. I love the sun. It's sunny in Ireland today, which is really rare. So I'm happy out. And I love the theater. I love live art. The more live art, the better. The less scrolling on TikTok, the better. And oh God, I don't know. Is that enough of a bio?
That works for me. We're going to
Rambly
explore who
bio.
you are a little bit more anyways, but I got to say, smart idea marrying an arranger. I'm getting married to a teacher. You're smart.
Perfect.
Yeah, but she can't help me with arranging music and stuff.
Arranging things.
That's a good idea. Nice. So
I got lucky. Well, to be honest, he wasn't strictly an arranger when I met him. He kind of got roped into that role after a while. But
that's
he's really
love.
damn good at it.
That's
So
love.
I'm really, really lucky. Yeah, it is. It is. Love and hate. Nobody joking. Pure love.
Now, I'm curious. Were you always in a musical theater growing up, or was that something you discovered a little bit later in life?
Always into musical theater. Now, not as early as you. I know you were literally on stage before you were born in Oklahoma. In your mom's belly. But yeah, since I was a child, my mom used to work weekends in a department store in Dublin. So my dad would mind me and he would just put on, oh my God, this is going to show my age. He would put on VHS, he put on the tapes, and he'd put me in front of the TV. And we had like a double-sided tape of Oliver and Annie. So one side is Oliver, one side is Annie. And I'd be like, please, sir, can I have some more? And we'd have to turn the tape around. I was about 2 years old, 3 years old, and they said I was like singing tomorrow, tomorrow in the buggy. So I think I was cursed since I was a baby.
And it seems you have a thing for orphans. So you got Oliver and you got Annie.
They're both orphans.
I don't know.
I don't know. There's some weird link there. And then as I got older, obviously it was Grease. Then it was Grease. And like dad convinced me that he was actually originally cast as John Travolta's role. Like obviously it was a lie, like this random Irish man, like, but we all believed him. And I remember one night I was sick and we were staying up. I don't know why I'm getting into this, but we were staying up watching watching the film, and Rizzo's like song got taped over by like one of those ads, those infomercials for like a treadmill or something. It was like, oh no, the best part's been filmed over. So yeah, then it turned into Grease. The orphans disappeared for a while.
Okay, now I'm picturing Danny as with an Irish accent.
Yeah.
And
How are you, Sandy? What's the crack?
and then if you had Olivia Newton-John with her Australian accent, like what kind of craziness would that have been? Oh man. Well,
Joe.
let's jump into your show. Let's talk about Jilted. What was the impetus for writing it in the first place?
So basically, like after I'd written Big Shot, and Big Shot was like a complete original story. Like I just made up these characters, I made up this whole plot, obviously, because it's original. And Jilted is the same, but after Big Shot, I don't know, have you ever met Ken Davenport? He's a lovely man, he's a producer in New York. And he gave me like advice after Big Shot, and he said, look, I think you should write something you know, and maybe put more of you in the show. He was like, you're funny, and like he was being nice, like, and he was like, maybe put more of you in your life in the show. And I adapted a Cecilia Ahern novel. That's a whole other thing, with the guy from the UK, Andy Patolo, before Jilted. But then it just came to a time where I was like, I'd love to write another original show and test myself, see can I do it on my own again. Try to beat Jonathan Larson. So then basically, yeah, Jilted kind of came out because, well, I was at my best friend's wedding, and I was the bridesmaid, and we were all kind of getting excited, and it was really fun the morning off. And in my head, it just popped into my head. I'd already written some songs for the show, but I was like, what is the show about? And then I was like, imagine like the groom just didn't arrive. I don't even think I ever told her this. But I was like, imagine the groom didn't arrive. Like, what do you do? And then it kind of like came from there, but it's not really about that. Like, yes, she is jilted and her name is Jill, but it opens with that. So it opens with like you're at this wedding day, it's really exciting, everybody's buzzing, and it's a big opening number, and then it's just like he's not coming. And I'm always fascinated with like the moment in life where, you know, everything changes. Like you think your whole future's planned ahead of you, and then within a moment, everything can change. So her whole life's kind of ripped away. And the whole story is kind of about what do you do after the fact of heartbreak, or after the fact something goes wrong? How do you deal? So yeah, it's a lot about kind of learning to love yourself. Like the whole thing is like you can't love anyone till you love yourself. Which I all think we're on a journey with. I know some people love themselves more than others, but like we all need to love ourselves because it is important. But yeah, and it's a lot about female friendship and male friendship. But um yeah, so I guess Ken Davenport's words stuck with me more than I thought, because the show, even though I haven't been left at the altar yet, um,
Don't use the
is
word yet.
about. I mean, I'm engaged. It could happen. It could still happen. He might be sick of arranging the shows.
Ah,
Um, but yeah, I think it was more like the characters in it. Like anybody that's kind of seen, like obviously it's just been a concert so far, but anybody that's seen it or like heard it, that they're like, okay, it's like you know them people, and those people are friends, and I'm like, yeah, because they're actually my friends. Some of them don't know them, but
yeah.
yeah, they're definitely real people. So yeah, I guess did I answer the question?
Yeah, you did. We know why you wrote the show. But
Yes.
I'm curious about your I'm always curious about people's writing styles. How do you go about it? Do you write lyrics first, music first? Do you work with, with the book first? The influences of
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about how you write and what influences you.
Yeah, that's a good question, because I feel like there's so many different ways you can do it. And
Mhm.
then like I've been told there is a wrong way to do it, but sometimes I think I do it the wrong way. I like to do things backwards. You're meant to have your book. Okay, that's they always say have your book really intact. But I just music flows to me so much quicker. And then when the music comes, then I'm like, oh wait, this is for this character, and oh wait, now I know what they're trying to say. So for me, it's almost like the music and the lyrics, they kind of come simultaneously. Generally, like the melody would come with the piano and the lyrics, and then the story kind of unfolds with the music, I guess. But like to be honest, when I first started writing Jills, it was so funny. I would go to this studio. There's this free studio in Dublin City, and it was a 40-minute drive from where I lived. And I was like, right, I'm not going to write at home. I'm going to write in the studio. And I would drive there and I'd sit there for hours. Like the pure rubbish would come out. Like nothing good would come out. Then I'd get in the car on the way home, and then all of the songs would come to me. It was crazy. Like I'd be driving and I'd be like, on a day like this, I'm like, wait, that's the opening number. And then I just like have to press voice memos really quickly on the phone and try to record. Um, so yeah, I think for me, it does kind of tend to be the music first and then the story. But the story is definitely the most important thing. Like we know that because without a story,
Hmm.
what is a musical really? So that's probably why I have to play catch up a little bit sometimes when I'm like, oh my God, this song's so good. But like you can't have a song in the show that's good just for the crack. Like, oh
Yeah.
sorry, for the crack in Ireland means for the fun of it, by the way. But you can't just have a song just there. It needs to aid the story. So yeah, I guess that's how. And
Okay.
then obviously there's always edits to the lyrics last minute. Like there's still some lyrics I'm like, probably need to change one or two of those before the show in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Are, do you have any influences for songwriting, or is there something that you really loved, and not necessarily, that you write the same style of, but someone you went, oh, I like that, and just an inspiration.
Oh, there's so many people. There's so many. I think like in terms of Irish, like obviously Glenn Hansard, like once I don't know if you ever seen Once the musical.
I have.
I
Yeah.
actually think the musical's better than the movie, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
maybe that's just for musical nerds. But Glenn Hansard's phenomenal. Obviously, his melodies are incredible. And there's another Irish songwriter here, Declan O'Rourke, who's also incredible. Then in terms of musical theatre, there's just so many good ones. Like Lawrence O'Keefe, his melodies are
Mm.
insane. Like Legally Blonde gets stuck in your head for weeks on end. Stephen Schwartz, like phenomenal, unbelievable. Alan Menken,
Yeah.
Bobby and Christian Lopez, like Jonathan Larson. There's just so many, like so many. But I remember definitely for Jilted, surprisingly. I didn't love Rent when I first did it. Like I was in a production of Rent and I was like, oh,
Mhm.
like this is really good. But everybody in the cast were so obsessed with it. Like, and I felt like I wasn't on the same level of obsession as they were.
Mhm.
But then I remember I'd just come back from a trip to New York because I was a music manager for female pop acts at the time. And it was like a conference on for those. And I came back and it was my 30th birthday and we watched Tick Tick Boom and like it just had a profound impact
Yeah.
on me. I was like, oh my God, I've never related to a character more in my life. Like he's having a crisis over the fact that his show isn't done and it's not going anywhere. And like I'd only kind of started, like I wasn't finished Jilted and it was a bit of a mess. And I was like, oh my God. So
Yeah.
then Jonathan Larson kind of came to me a bit later and I was like, whoa, this guy is incredible, like incredible. And like I actually think some of his stuff was before his time,
Mm.
really. I didn't even mention Stephen Sondheim. There's just so many. Too
Wait, who? Who said that?
many. Finishing that.
You have to tell us more about him.
Never heard of him.
I'll the Googling right now as we're talking.
But being alive probably is, I think, maybe the greatest musical theater song of all time. I don't know, maybe in my opinion.
It's hard to argue that. It is so good.
Yeah,
I agree.
it's so good.
If I
I
knew who
remember
sang
listening
it,
to that.
but
Sorry, go on.
if I knew who wrote it. But yes, I, I agree.
No idea. No idea. I have to Google that one.
I'd love to hear about the production history of Jilted. When did you start writing it, and the path that's gone along so far up to the concert?
Yeah, so I started writing it about 2 years ago. It was like kind of coming to me slowly in between working loads, like bits here and there, and then you'd wake up, like I said, you'd be driving, things would come into your head, and you're like, oh my God, I got it. And then I workshopped it a few months after I started writing it. I just got really lucky, and my old university, Dublin City University in Dublin, and they allowed me to use their rehearsal space where I did Big Shot, my first show.
Mhm.
And I got a bunch of amazing, talented people from Ireland, and they all wanted to be part of it. So I got lucky, and we got them in the room. And that's when I kind of started to see, did the material work, or like here, did the material work? And I was honestly crapping it. I was like, oh God, what this is all terrible. But it was mad, right? It was like today. It was a really sunny day, which is rare, and there was loads of people walking by the building, so we had to keep all the windows and doors open because it was too hot
Mhm.
and all these people were walking by and like this man came in, he was like please, can you tell me what this is? Like, I want to buy tickets. And we were like, what? I nearly died. I was like, it's a work in progress. I was like, it's not done. I was like, there's no show anytime soon. And he was like, I will go there. I will go to that show. And like loads of people were waiting out, like standing outside this building, like listening to us. And we were like, whoa, it was actually
Wow.
magical. That was the first workshop, was really magic. And then I was like, okay, you need to fix this around a bit. So then, like, obviously did some fixes. And then the Irish Creative Collective in London invited us over to do a concert there. So that was
Mhm.
like a mini concert. And I got a London cast there, which was so cool. And then the other palace, we got picked to do a concert in the other palace as well. Like they did this series with MMD called Musical Bites,
Mhm.
and got to do a little mini performance there as well, and that sold out too. So, and sorry, I never mentioned the one in Dublin. That one sold out. We eventually then did one in Dublin, but I never got that guy's details, and he was so nice, and I wanted to give him a free ticket.
Oh,
And like we put up a little social media search. Like I'm so bad on social media, but my sister's good at it. She put up a little social media search trying to find him to be like, we want to give him a free ticket. But it sold out there too. So I was like, this is really lucky, and it felt right. And it kind of seemed to have really resonated with the audience. And there's some kind of heavy topics in it, even though it sounds like quite a light show and it is a funny show. There are some serious topics in it, but it seemed to have gone down well. So then, lo and behold, we're going 50 for below now with
yeah.
an American cast. Yeah, with one Irish girl from the original cast that's there, and my sister who was in the original cast. She's in the ensemble because she lives in New York. Um, but one of the Irish girls, Claire O'Malley, is also in it, and she's actually in a production in Florida at the moment, and she's flying from Florida straight to rehearsal for
Wow.
Jilted and 54 Below. I know, it's so
Nice.
exciting. So exciting.
That's
So yeah, I
fantastic.
guess that's kind of the journey of how it is where it is now, I guess. But the dream is to get a full production.
Yes. Always,
That's the
always,
dream.
right?
Always.
I'm curious. I asked this of all the writers. Was there a song that, was easy to write, that just flowed right out of you, just poured right out? And then was there a song that just drove you crazy, or might still be driving you crazy? And you're just like, how am I going to get this to work? Or there's something wrong. I'd love to hear your process of those types of dichotomy of one end to the other of writing.
Yeah, there's definitely like a few songs that I got lucky with where they kind of flew out of me. There's a song called Unconditional Love, and the whole story behind the song is like, well, one of the girls in the show, spoiler, am I allowed to give spoilers? Yeah, sure. One of the girls in the show, she's hidden a secret for all of Act One, and you kind of think maybe she had an affair with Jill's fiance for the whole of Act One, but actually her cancer has returned,
Mm.
and she hid it from her friend to make her feel better. Quite dark, but before things get bad for her, she has this song with Jill, and it's called Unconditional Love, and the whole song is basically like you can't love anyone till you love yourself. And um like at the end of the day, we're all searching for unconditional love. And she mightn't have found that with her fiance, but there's unconditional love in friendships, there's unconditional love in families, there's unconditional love random, you never know what with your dog. If you have a dog or if you have an animal, you see unconditional love there. And that one kind of flew out of me really quickly. Like I'd say like 10 minutes, that song came. And then another song, the same, Built to Last, which is like all about Jill and how that whole song is like, if you don't try, you'll never know. Probably wrote it because I felt that way about not trying, like trying to write a new show.
Yeah.
And then in turn it's like Jill, it's her main song. But then definitely the opening number, it's always the opening number. I know Felix talks about this with Operation Mincemeat. They all talk about like how they had so many opening numbers.
Mhm.
Um it's called A Day Like This. I do like it, but I just there's something about it. It's never every time we performed it, I haven't gone right. And I'm like, maybe it's a sign that like if the cast aren't getting it right, I probably need to rewrite the thing. So the opener, I guess, needs a bit of work. There's probably a few songs in there that I need to dig in a bit more
Yeah. Hey,
before next week.
by the time you finish writing a show, you've written like three and a half shows, really,
Yeah,
with all the songs and the changes and everything. And
ain't it the truth?
it's crazy, and I don't know why we do it sometimes. Like,
I know. Why do we do it to
how
ourselves?
exactly how crazy are we that we're gonna do this? Why don't we just get a 9 to 5 job, right? I know we can't. Our brains won't
I
let us do
ask myself that
that.
every single day.
Right. I'm like, but nothing makes
So
us
does my
happier.
fiance, obviously, because he's an arranger too and he's a musician. And he's like, why can't we just live a normal life? I'm like, I don't know. But
Well, as I
you're the
said,
same.
yeah, well, my fiance, because like I said, she's a teacher. She doesn't, she appreciates what I do, but doesn't get it. Right? She's 8 to 3 or 9 to 4, whatever the times are, and
Lovely.
standardize everything where we're just all over the map.
All over the shop.
Right?
All
Exactly.
over the shop.
Yep.
Front aisle, back aisle, up in the attic, the
Yep.
stock room. Sorry.
Exactly. Exactly. So, how did the 54 Below concert come about? How did that happen?
Um, to be honest, I got really lucky. Basically, so I did a concert in 54 Below in 2019.
Hmm.
It was a concert of my music, but Big Shot was on Off-Broadway with Ken Davenport's Rave
Hmm.
2 days after. So kind of all collapsed in together in a good way, like timing wise. So I had the cast from Big Shot, most of the cast from Big Shot sang and I sang like a night of like my music, which was really fun and great. And 54 Below were so lovely and they were like, Lauren, we'd love to have you back like whenever you want. Like we'd absolutely love to have you back. And I was like, oh my God, I was honored to be honest. And then it just so happens that there's a festival on in New York called First Irish Festival and they promote new Irish productions, but musicals they don't really do. It's mainly like plays and comedians, and it's really, really cool. But it's for like new Irish writers, and it's the first time you see the work. So they're running a festival at the moment. It's actually started on April 1st, and I was on the phone to the head of the festival, Mick. He's a lovely guy. A few months ago, well, probably nearly a year ago now, and he said we were saying maybe would it be possible to like kind of tie in the fact that it's festival, but also be part of 54 Below.
Hmm.
So that's how it happened. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, we're part of this like new Irish writing group, but it's one night in 54 Below, one night only. I'm so
That
nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
that's fantastic. And you say it's luck,
Yeah.
but you know what? There's everything has a little bit of luck to it, right? And a little
Yeah.
bit of skill and a little bit of everything, and it's crazy how things just work out. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
you say, and I love that you say that because you know the way sometimes when things aren't working out and you're like, it will all work out, but it always comes together. And you always have to remind yourself, like every show you do, like you think, oh my God, this is not going to come together. Or,
Yeah.
even just simple things in life, you're like, this is not coming together. And then in the end, like it always works out. It does.
But you know what? Even if it doesn't work out, you've learned, and the next thing you
Yeah,
do works out because of what you've learned or whatever. It's we always
so
think
true.
of failures, but it's not failures. It's just a, you've learned something and you need to take it into the next level in the next area. And
So
so
true.
so it, but it doesn't hurt to have talent and skill. So that
Yeah, that's true. But
you gotta have
also,
that
like
too.
all the successful people fail. Like
Yeah,
even that composer that we named at the start that we said was like wrote the greatest musical theater song.
yeah,
Um, had some flops. You know what I mean? It
sure.
happens.
It,
But I'm manifesting this isn't a flop.
oh man. So we need to know, how do people get tickets to it? How do people, is there websites about yourself, the socials, the websites, all that fun stuff? We need to know how people
Yay!
get to know you.
Oh yay, please come to see Jilted and 54 Below. We're so excited. The cast are incredible. Like the band are incredible. We have a mix of like just a mix of such amazing talent. Anyways, so how do we get it? So on 54 Below's website, we can get in-person tickets and live stream tickets. So if people are not able to come in person, there is live stream because I know a good few people from Ireland were like, we want to watch it. So then 54 Below were like, we can do a live stream.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's being live streamed 22nd of April at 7 p.m. And please come if you're in New York, like whoever's in New York,
Yeah.
come pop in. It's new original theater. There's so many adaptations, and I'm not saying they're not amazing because most of them are brilliant, but it's so important to have some new original musicals out there and to support one another in the original musical theater world, like Joey Connis would say. Not that I know him, but he's a legend. Yeah, so it would be amazing to get anybody who wants to come to see a new original show. We'd love to have you there. So 54 Below's website, and then Jilted the Musical, just at Jilted the Musical on Instagram. And I think I'm at Lauren Gaff. I should really know that off by heart. I think I'm Lauren Gaff. At Lauren Gaff
I think
with a
so. I
Y.
just looked it up. I think it is. Yes.
Thank you. Lauren with a Y.
That's fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations on everything you've done. It's great to finally meet you, after, 5 years of playing your show and
I
never.
can't believe that. Thank you so much for playing Big Shot. Like that means the absolute world. Like genuinely, I know I do. I need to listen to it now. I'm gonna be like, oh my God, that's my song.
Well, that's the thing. There's so many. I mean, there's not that many avenues for people to get their stuff out there. There's obviously Spotify and iTunes and all that sort of thing. But
Yeah,
radio play, even internet radio play, people play musical theater, but it's not the new stuff, and it's not the up and coming new stuff. And
agree.
and that's what I wanted to focus on is supporting and promoting all this work. And I am finally seeing, after 5 years, or almost six, I think it's 6 years on this of having the station alive, is these shows that I met right at the beginning are getting productions, and they're starting to get noticed. And that for me is so exciting. I love playing
Yeah.
Hamilton, and I love playing that company guy and all that sort of thing,
Guy.
whatever his name is. But um, playing
I think
shows
it's
from your.
Sweeney Todd.
Oh, I've heard of that. I'll look that up too. But playing shows like yourself and meeting people like yourself, the opportunity isn't there. And I want to give you this opportunity. And
You're
I'm so
so
happy when I
kind.
see, shows and people succeeding. So
Yeah.
congratulations on all that.
Oh, thank you. We need more people like you in the world. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's the great thing about pop is like, when you write pop songs and you're lucky if you strike with an artist, get in your car and the song could be on the radio,
Yeah.
like, and you're like, woohoo, my song's on the radio, so cool. But with the musical, like it's so much more work, so many more hours, so much more thought goes into it.
Yeah.
And like it may never get heard. It may
Mhm.
never get heard.
Yeah.
You mightn't have the means to record an album, and just even if you do, it mightn't get heard. So just so lucky that we have you in the world, like pushing new theater. And so funny that you say like 5 or 6 years ago and then you see the shows now. It's generally taking that long, isn't it? It's like 5, 6, 7 years for people, and then like
Yeah.
Operation Mincemeat are the same. 7 years
Mhm.
they spent on that show,
Yeah.
and now it's finally getting what it deserves.
I've heard some people, sometimes you're lucky. You write it, and a year later, it's getting a little bit of a production of some kind, and that's great.
Yeah,
But I've also
like
heard
six.
shows 15 years
Yeah,
they've been writing. So
10 years.
we're
Don't
insane.
be
Like I
sorry.
said, 9 to 5. Maybe we should just look at that. That's
I know.
not the musical, but the getting a job. So one more thing before we go, Lauren, tell us, what about something special about Ireland that we don't know, that over here in North America we don't necessarily always get over there. What's something that we should know that maybe we don't know? Now you're muted right now, just to give you a heads up. I don't know how you got muted. It happens. There you
Sorry
go.
about that. Don't know how that
It's okay.
Um, that's it's a lovely question, a really nice question. I think if I was to say one thing about Ireland that people don't know, it's, to be honest, it's the people. The people in Ireland make it what it is. Like Ireland's a really special country. There's a lot of talent in this country, a lot of amazing storytellers. There's a lot of great writers that are out there, great composers, great lyricists, but it's our humor and our demeanor. I hate to be like like me, I am Ireland, like obviously not me, but this country, like we have some really genuine, lovely people, and it kind of reassures your faith in humanity. When you're on social media and you're scrolling and you're seeing, can show you a lot of bad things. But when you go outside here, you're just reminded that like there's some really lovely people out there, and the Irish people are really genuine. They're friendly, they're helpful, they're nice. Like you walk down the road and everybody says, "How are you? Hi." And you just say hi to everyone. And it's just everyone's friendly, everyone's nice. And yeah, the people are what makes the country.
Nice. The tourist board is appreciative. You're just saying all that stuff.
Tourism Ireland sponsors Jilted, please.
Oh, think about that. See what you can get. Oh, Lord, again, thank you so much for coming on and introducing your
No, thank you.
show to myself and all the listeners. And one day I'm going to try and get over there, and
Well, you have a tour guide. You have a tour guide waiting for
I
you.
love it. I will definitely have to get over there then.
And you'll have a nice pint of Guinness if you drink Guinness.
I, I I don't drink it all, so you might have to have mine.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't really drink too much,
Oh no.
so we'll find somebody in the pub. We'll
Okay.
find somebody in the pub that will drink all of them.
Yeah, that would that be hard to find?
Absolutely not. Another thing about
Um,
Ireland that we won't get into.
all right. Well, all the best with the concert. I'm looking for one day meeting you, and please don't be a stranger if you got something else. Keep in touch, and we'll talk more in the future.
Thank you so much. You're so kind for having me. Thank you, thank you, thank
You're
you.
welcome. All right. So we were just speaking with Lauryn Gaffney, the creator of the musical Jilted, which of course is playing April 22nd, 2025 at 54 Below in New York City when you can get the tickets. So if you're in New York, go see it live. If not, check it out online. You know what? This is a global thing. Musical theater is around the world, so you can watch it from anywhere. All right. And always support new works because they're so important to support these people. Because remember, today's new works are tomorrow's classics. Don't forget that. All right. So tune in next time as we'll speak with another guest or guests about their life, love, and passion that is musical theater. I am your host, as always, Jean-Paul Yovanoff. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.